all joining us later online, good morning and happy Mother's Day. And I do hope that you will come and choose to be with us in person very soon, because you only get a small portion of the service online. And if you would like this message, or anyone watching here, I encourage you to go to Unity of Tempe YouTube page, like and subscribe it. That would help us grow our page. So, the power of motherhood extends far beyond biological bonds and physical birth. It is a sacred force of nurturing that resides within every single one of us, men and women alike. I should have said women and men alike, because it is Mother's Day, right? Now, while this is a day of celebration, it can also be a triggering and emotional day. And in honoring all of us, let us acknowledge the vast continuum of mothering. Those who've given birth, raise your hands if you want to. Those who have helped to raise children. Those who have lost children, not a nice club to be in. But some of us, that's the case. Those whose mothers have passed, a lot there. Some of us, as Sharon mentioned, just within the last few weeks. And that includes Jessie, myself, Sharon, and Carla, and some within a couple of years, David. Those with close relationships with their mother, children, grandchildren, stepchildren, and those who have heartache. Those who grieve they do not have children. Those who are mums to cats, dogs, rabbits, felines, I said cats, right? Fish, you name it, iguanas, whatever you are a mum to. Or stuffed toys. I don't know what you're a mum to. You're a mum to all those things. And those who are spiritual mums. I honor this mother spirit in all of us, whether this day finds you in joy, in grief, in gratitude, or quiet reflection. Know that you are cherished. You are deeply, deeply loved and appreciated. So while American Mother's Day began early in the 20th century at the urging of Anna Jarvis, there's a prehistory to this holiday that is usually overlooked, and it has its roots and a close link with unity. So today I'm going to share the story of Julia Ward Howe. She is most famous as the author of what? Oh, good. What was it? No, but good choice. Actually, the Battle Hymn of the Republic. And she was a renowned poet, essayist, lecturer, and reformer. She was a woman who worked to end slavery, helped initiate the women's movement, and strived for international peace. And all at a time, she noted, when to do so was a thankless office involving public ridicule and private avoidance. Not much has changed in that regard, it seems, right? But anyways, Julia was born in New York on May 27th, 1819, to a family that believed in education for both men and women, and that was kind of unusual for the time. Her mother died when she was just 5 years old, and her loving conservative banker father made sure that Julia had the very best teachers. But he was conservative. And after her father died, her liberal-minded uncle became her guardian. And consequently, Julia became increasingly liberal, especially on religious and social issues. When she was 23, she married Samuel Gridley Howe. He was 18 years older than she was. He was director of the Perkins Institute for the Blind in Boston, and he was a radical Unitarian who rejected the Calvinism of New England. He was opposed to slavery, and he was part of the circle known as the Transcendentalists. The Transcendentalists were an American philosophical movement that emerged in the 1830s in which unity and new thought has deep roots. And I'll do a message about the Transcendentalists another day. But Transcendentalists basically emphasize the importance of the individual, the inherent goodness of people and nature, and spiritual connection over dogma, and also that we could find God in so many ways, in so many things. As Julia was introduced to people such as William Ellery Channing, Margaret Fuller, and one of my favorites, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he is known as the father of New Thought, which Unity is a part of, she became convinced that the Bible need not be taken literally. She became a Unitarian, believing in a personal, loving God who cared about the affairs of humanity and in a Christ who served as a role model for all people. Her free thinking, where are my free thinkers here? Yeah, all of us, right? So her free thinking began to extend to other areas. She no longer accepted traditional male authority. Ladies, let's give that a clap, right? Yay. Her marriage to Samuel, well, it proved a bit challenging. He married her for her ideas, her mind, and her active commitment to causes he embraced. But he believed married women should not have a life outside the home. They should support their husbands and not speak publicly. Boo. Yeah. Despite his conviction to many social causes, he was an abusive, domineering, and unfaithful husband who discouraged Julia's growing independence. But Julia showed her independence by refusing to follow the custom of the day of taking her husband's entire name. Oh, that is a weird custom, right? The entire name. So instead of becoming Mrs. Samuel Gridley Howe and losing her name entirely, she became Julia Ward Howe. That doesn't seem like a big thing these days, but it was back then. Despite having 6 children in 12 years, Julia found time to continue writing poetry, and she treasured and insisted on her precious time where she could write and be with God unencumbered. But Samuel, he did not approve of her writing. He did not appreciate it, and he was especially displeased that the poems she wrote, many describing dismay with their marriage, were published. He did, however, like that she worked with him at publishing an abolitionist paper. Now, toward the end of his life, his attitude towards Julia softened a tiny bit. But when he died, he left nothing to her in his will. The day after his funeral, Julia wrote, "My new life begins today." As the nation became more divided over slavery, a clergyman who knew of Julia's poems urged her to write new words to the abolitionist song, John Brown's Body. Julia went to bed that night, and she woke up in the middle of the night, moved by the power of the force of the Spirit, the divine presence within her. And by the next morning, she had written 6 stanzas of the Battle Hymn of the Republic. And in February 1862, The Atlantic published it, paying Julia $5. I'm already in England in a few weeks. $5, which at that time was a lot of money. And while Julia may be best known for this Battle Hymn of the Republic, she dedicated the next 50 years of her life using the status that the poem gave her to promote peace and women's rights. In 1870, on the brink of the Franco-Prussian War, she proposed an international Mother's Day of Peace, followed by a General Congress of Women to promote the alliance of all nations. She urged women to come together and recognize what nations hold in common and commit to finding peaceful resolutions to conflicts. Sounds like something we need today, doesn't it? Here's a video that explains a little more about this.
Mother's Day really was, in its origin, an anti-war day, an anti-war statement. Julia Ward Howe was sickened by what had happened during the Civil War, the loss of life, the carnage, and she created Mother's Day as a call for women all over the world to come together and create ways of protesting war, of making a kind of alternate government that could finally do away with war as an acceptable way of solving conflict.
Arise then, women of this day. Arise, all women who have hearts. Whether your baptism be of water or of tears,
Say firmly, we will not have questions answered by irrelevant agencies. Our husbands will not come to us reeking of carnage for caresses and applause.
Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We,
the women of one country, are too tender to those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own. It says, disarm.
disarm.
disarm. The sword of murder is not the balance of justice. Blood
does not wipe our dishonor, nor violence indicate possession. As men have
often forsaken the plow and the anvil at the summons of war, let women now leave all that may be left of home for a great and earnest day of council.
Let them meet first as women to bewail and commemorate the dead. Let them solemnly take counsel with each other
as to the means whereby the great human family can live in peace.
Each bearing after his own time the sacred impress,
not of Caesar, but of God.
In the name of womanhood and
humanity, I earnestly ask that a General Congress of Women without limit of nationality
may be appointed and held at some place deemed most convenient,
and at the earliest period consistent with its objects,
to promote the alliance of the different nationalities,
the amicable settlement of international questions,
the great and general interest of peace.
Let's say this together. Arise then, women of this day. Arise, all women who have hearts. So Julia translated this proclamation into many languages, and she distributed it widely. In 1872, she initiated the Mother's Peace Day observance on the second Sunday in June, and she held the meeting for many years. She saw parallels between struggles for legal rights for Black people and the need for legal equality for women. She became a noted leader of the women's suffrage movement, traveling around the US to Europe and the Middle East. And this is a time where there was not airplanes to do this. So she lectured everywhere she went on women's rights. In 1893, she spoke at the Parliament of World's Religions in Chicago. And a highlight of her message was, I think nothing is religion which puts one individual above others. And surely nothing is religion which puts one sex above another. Any religion which sacrifices women to the brutality of men is no religion. But what about Julia's connection with unity that I spoke of earlier? In 1895, the first public lecture sponsored by an early form of the International New Thought Alliance, which includes unity, was given by Julia Ward Howe. In March 1899, Unity magazine announced a series of talks in which Julia was to be a featured speaker about peace. She was a woman, a mother, who believed in herself and in others enough to speak and live out her truth. And her version of Mother's Day encompassed this vision. Every woman is not in God's providence a mother, and every wife is not actually a mother. But every true woman and every true, I say, person who has the divine spirit of nurturing and kindness in them, and this grand spiritual motherhood, exhorting its influence and watchfulness in all walks of life, will give every woman a noble part to perform in the great drama of the world. We sure are experiencing a great drama of the world right now. I'd like us to take away 3 main points from today's message, things we can learn from Julia Ward Howe about how we can nurture a spirit of courage and peace. Number 1, make time for God. Julia had what she called her precious time, where she could write and study and be with God unencumbered. Do you have and do you make time to be with God? Do you allow sufficient precious time for this relationship to blossom? I know that God is always with us, yet making time to listen, to just be, without an agenda, is where we receive guidance and clarity. Allow time to hear and feel and sense Spirit's guidance in your soul. Allow time for God to whisper in your ear, Happy Mother's Day, or whatever else God is whispering in your ear today. Number 2, embrace your inspiration and speak your truth. Julia embraced the inspiration she received and had the courage to speak her truth. She was not afraid to go against the grain. Her inspiration was based on selfless spiritual principles of equality and justice. So when we make time for God, we're often given inspiration. And sometimes we're charged with being an agent of change. God places something on our hearts that we feel can be made different and better. And often it calls for us to align more with the qualities of the Christ within. When speaking our spiritual truth, it's important to discern if our motives are pure and selfless. And I love this from Proverbs 31. She is clothed in strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. Okay, a little bit of a stretch right now, I know. But she's clothed in strength and dignity. When she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instructions with kindness. Isn't that beautiful? Wise words with kindness. Julia found her voice and became increasingly unafraid to use it. She became an activist for good, for equality, for peace. So remember, beloveds, to embrace your inspiration and speak your truth. Number 3, enlarge and evolve your vision. Julia's vision was enlarged and evolved, yet it was all based on the spiritual principles of the Golden Rule. She exemplified the power of Christ consciousness in her activism, uniting women across the world in standing for human rights and peace. Be willing to let God enlarge and evolve your vision, because as Proverbs 29 tells us, and you probably know this, where there is no vision, the people will perish. Julia released the Calvinistic religion of her father, and she broke with the traditional role of male domination. Nevertheless, she found herself in a marriage to a man, though he believed in liberal and humane causes, held on to stifling ideas of a woman's place in the world. Julia, however, continued to allow Spirit to enlarge her vision, evolving her understanding of God. So remember to evolve and expand your own vision, because with God, all things are possible, even an American Pope. Mother's Day is a time to honor not only the mothers in our lives, but also our spiritual mothers, women who have ignited ideas, nurtured growth, and shaped the heart of our communities, our nation, and the world. Women who, like Julia Ward Howe, illuminated the way with courage and vision, reminding us that nurturing is not just an act of love, but an act of bold, peaceful activism. Nurturers, you didn't know you were bold, peaceful activists, did you? In honor of the courageous spirit within each of us, here's a song that I had never heard of. It's entitled Warriors of Love by Heather Houston. And Ron, I'm wondering, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done. Let me read that again, because he's going to have a hard time editing that. In honor of the courageous spirit within each of us, here's a song entitled Warriors of Love by Heather Houston.
Don don de don don de don don de don 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 de don don de don don de don. Calling all sisters and brothers of love, calling all nations and angels above, calling all sisters and brothers of love, calling all nations and angels above. Oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Let us rise, 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 like a phoenix from the fire, and we will fly, 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 higher and higher and higher, and we will stand, 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 in solidarity for this sacred land, and we will lead, 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 with compassion for all humanity. Oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. And we will pray, 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 for love to show the blessed way. And we will hear, 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 the truth that leads us out of fear. And we will really choose to see those we perceive to be our enemy. And we will be set free with the light that shines in you and me. Oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. And we will choose to heal the pain we feel, and we will rise above, 'cause we are warriors of love. Oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh.
Okay, so let us say together, I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. Of God. Of good. Mine says of God, and I know it's good, but it's good and it's God, and it's all the same, isn't it? It's all the same. Let's say it again. I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good, of God. Yes. And so it is now time for our financial blessings. We're so grateful that you share your financial good. This is how Unity of Tempe exists, with your financial donations. And so we are so grateful, grateful, grateful. Let us say together, I am a joyful sharer of my good. I remember that as I give, I receive, and that God is my source. Yes. Can we go to the QR code, please? Thank you, Ruth and Karen, for doing this today. That's okay, we'll bless it from here. We'll bless it from here. Ah, loving Mother, Father, God, thank you for these gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you to those who choose to give online as well. We bless these gifts. We bless the giver. We bless the receiver. We bless the stewardship of their use. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Just want to encourage you to join us on our Zoom call, Zoom Prayer and Connect call at 9:30 a.m. on Thursdays. This is a really precious time. We had an amazing experience this past Thursday, and we always have wonderful time of prayer and connection. So invite you to join there. And let us say together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well, and we are grateful. Beloveds online, we hope to see you in person very soon. Have a peaceful rest of the week.